June 21st, 2025. President Donald Trump addressed the world after U.S. airstrikes destroyed Iran's nuclear facilities.
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision.
While the targets were military, the consequences will be global. But before we begin, ask yourself this. What happens when a single speech shifts global markets? Could Trump's words have triggered Iran's next deadly move? Is this the real start of World War III? Without a formal declaration? And most chilling of all, are we prepared for the consequences of his predictions coming true? In this video, we break down 10 predictions that will likely unfold in the aftermath of Trump's hardline speech. From military retaliation to election strategy, regional instability to digital warfare, we connect the dots using historical precedent, policy patterns, and real-world data. This is Review Daddy, where we decode the mystery behind every trend. Before we dive in, we just want to say a big thank you to all our returning subscribers. Your support means the world to us, and we're truly grateful you keep coming back to our channel. Prediction 1. Iran will strike back. Iran has a well-documented pattern. It never absorbs a high-level military strike without a response. History confirms this. In January 2020, after the U.S. drone strike killed Major General Qasem Soleimani, Iran launched Operation Martyr Soleimani, firing more than a dozen ballistic missiles at 2 U.S. military bases in Iraq, Ain al-Assad and Erbil. While there were no immediate U.S. fatalities, over 100 American troops later reported traumatic brain injuries. Iran's retaliation often goes beyond direct missile fire. It activates a vast network of proxy groups, including Hezbollah in Lebanon, Kataib Hezbollah in Iraq, Houthi rebels in Yemen, Liwa Fatemiyun in Syria, Afghan Shia militia backed by Iran. These groups are capable of suicide drone attacks like the ones on Saudi oil facilities in 2019, Abqaiq and Kuras, IED and rocket attacks on U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria, cyber warfare targeting critical infrastructure, as seen in the Shamoon virus attacks, 2012-2016, and alleged Iranian attacks on U.S. banks and dams. The digital war front. This is no longer just about bombs and bullets. Iran has one of the most active state-sponsored hacker groups globally, including APT-33, Elfin, known for targeting aviation, energy, and defense companies worldwide. APT-34, Oil Rig, and Muddy Water linked to cyber espionage against government and corporate networks. In 2022, Iran-backed hackers attempted to breach Boston Children's Hospital, according to the FBI, highlighting how civilian targets are increasingly in the line of fire. Why this matters to you. In today's world, cyber warfare doesn't stay on the battlefield. With rising tensions, power grids, telecoms, financial networks, and even your personal devices can become collateral. When governments strike each other, their cyber teams often probe civilian internet infrastructure, looking for backdoors, leverage, or disruption potential. That's where NordVPN becomes essential. It encrypts your connection so your data stays invisible to prying eyes. Whether you're on public Wi-Fi, streaming global news, or handling sensitive work. In times of digital chaos where misinformation, phishing attacks, and surveillance increase, NordVPN ensures your online life stays private and secure. Prediction 2. Rising oil prices. The Strait of Hormuz is arguably the most critical energy choke point in the world. It's a narrow 21-mile wide waterway between Iran and Oman, through which nearly 1/5 of global oil, about 20.5 million barrels per day, passes. That includes exports from Saudi Arabia, Iraq, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Iran itself. Why it matters. When tensions rise in this region, markets react instantly, and oil prices spike, even without physical disruption. Iran has repeatedly threatened to block or control the strait if provoked militarily. Historical precedents. July 2018. After Iranian officials threatened to block the strait, oil prices surged 3 to 5% within 48 hours. June 2019. Tanker attacks. 2 oil tankers were attacked in the Gulf of Oman, with the U.S. blaming Iran. This sent Brent crude up by over 4% in a day and spiked global shipping insurance rates. September 2019, Saudi Aramco attack. Houthi rebels, backed by Iran, launched drone and missile strikes on the world's largest oil processing plant in Abqaiq. This caused Brent crude to jump 20% overnight, its biggest single-day increase in history. What's different now? If Iranian nuclear facilities are destroyed, Iran may retaliate by sabotaging oil tankers, launching missile or drone strikes on Gulf infrastructure, or temporarily obstructing the Strait of Hormuz. Even a credible threat or military buildup in the region could push Brent crude beyond $100 per barrel in the short term, spark inflation, spikes globally, hurt fuel-dependent economies and industries, especially in Europe and Asia. The ripple effect on the average person. Surging oil prices don't just affect fuel. Airline tickets and food prices increase due to supply chain disruption. Electricity costs may rise, especially in oil-importing countries. Financial markets become volatile, exposing digital users to scams and phishing during economic panic. Prediction 3. Escalation in the Israel-Lebanon front. In the wake of the U.S. strike, President Trump publicly thanked Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, calling him a true partner in the fight against terrorism.
I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel.
This endorsement isn't just symbolic. It gives Israel diplomatic cover to pursue its own military objectives in the region. Why it matters now. Israel has long viewed Hezbollah, Iran's most powerful proxy, as its greatest immediate threat. Hezbollah has over 150,000 rockets and missiles pointed at Israel, according to IDF estimates, operates from southern Lebanon, and has entrenched itself in Syrian territory as well, receives funding, training, and strategic guidance from Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC. With U.S.-Iran tensions peaking, Israel may view this moment as a rare strategic window to launch preemptive airstrikes on Hezbollah's rocket stockpiles, target Iranian military installations in Syria, especially around Damascus, test Hezbollah's red lines while global attention is focused on Iran's direct response. Historical flashpoint, the 2006 Lebanon War. This situation mirrors the July 2006 conflict, which began when Hezbollah conducted a cross-border raid, killing and kidnapping Israeli soldiers. Israel responded with full military force. That war lasted 34 days, caused 1,200 Lebanese and 165 Israeli deaths, displaced over 1 million people, devastated Lebanon's infrastructure. Now the stakes are even higher. Hezbollah is better armed and battle-hardened from fighting in Syria. Israel's defense capabilities have improved, e.g. Iron Dome, David Sling, F-35 fighter jets. Any strike now risks pulling Syria, Iran, and potentially Russia deeper into conflict. The regional domino effect. An escalation on this front could ignite a multi-theater war across Lebanon, Syria, and even Gaza, trigger retaliatory strikes on Israeli cities like Haifa and Tel Aviv, lead to a wider regional conflict involving Iranian militias across the Middle East. The cyber layer and civilian impact. War today isn't limited to bombs and borders. Cyber attacks often accompany kinetic warfare. Israel has already blamed Hezbollah and Iran for cyber intrusions on critical infrastructure, GPS jamming over Tel Aviv, disinformation campaigns targeting Israeli citizens. This kind of hybrid warfare spills into civilian life, where everything from banking apps to hospital systems can be compromised. Prediction 4, cyber warfare will explode. Iran's APT-33 and APT-34 cyber units have already been tied to attacks on U.S. infrastructure. In 2021, Iranian hackers breached Boston Children's Hospital. Retaliation may come as malware, power grid disruptions, or ransomware, and they won't wear flags. They'll come through your firewall. Prediction 5. UN and NATO response will be divided. Expect a split. European powers like France and Germany will call for restraint. Russia and China will condemn the strike outright. But NATO allies like the UK and Poland may cautiously support it. A repeat of 2003's Iraq War split, but in a more fragile, multipolar world. Prediction 6. Trump's poll numbers will surge. Historically, American presidents experience a rally around the flag effect after military actions. George W. Bush saw his approval rating hit 90% post-September 11th. Trump, with this dramatic and successful strike, may galvanize Republican voters and sway undecideds in key swing states. Prediction 7. Iran's nuclear program goes deeper underground. The world thinks it crippled Iran's nuclear capability. The truth? Iran may just go deeper underground. Fordo was already fortified inside a mountain. Next-gen programs may now hide in facilities invisible to satellites or shielded by Russian air defense systems.
Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
Prediction 8. Military recruitment and defense spending will rise. As global tensions escalate, so will U.S. defense spending and military mobilization. In 2024, the Pentagon requested a record $842 billion, with major investments in next-gen technologies like artificial intelligence, hypersonic weapons, cybersecurity, and drone warfare. Now, with the possibility of a prolonged confrontation with Iran and its proxies, expect emergency funding packages and bipartisan support to surge defense allocations even further. We're likely to witness an increase in military recruitment efforts, especially for specialized roles in cyber command, AI systems operations, and space defense. The nature of modern warfare is evolving. It's no longer just boots on the ground. It's also coders behind screens, data analysts tracking digital threats, and drones executing precision strikes from continents away. Prediction 9. Global protests and political unrest. Just like in 2003, when over 15 million people marched worldwide against the Iraq War, a new wave of protests is on the horizon. This time, the spark is U.S. military action in Iran, but the fuel is global frustration, real-time mobilization, and deeply polarized politics. Expect major anti-war protests in liberal strongholds like New York, San Francisco, and Chicago, alongside pro-Iranian demonstrations across the Middle East, including Baghdad, Beirut, and Tehran. Activists will take to the streets, but more crucially, they'll take to social media, organizing flash mobs, sharing real-time updates, and live streaming confrontations. Apps like TikTok, Telegram, and X, formerly Twitter, will play a pivotal role in this new age activism. This time, the speed and scale of mobilization could be faster than any protest wave in history. A viral hashtag can mobilize 100,000 people within hours. Governments will respond with surveillance, internet throttling, and misinformation, aiming to suppress the movement before it gains ground. Prediction 10. A possible black swan event. What's most dangerous? The unexpected. A U.S. ship sunk by mistake, an Israeli airstrike misinterpreted. In geopolitics, escalation often comes from miscalculation. One wrong move and a regional crisis turns global. Trump said, "There will be either peace or there will be tragedy." His words were not just a warning to Iran, but a foreshadowing for the world. These 10 predictions are not mere hypotheticals. They're based on history, real strategies, and known patterns. This is Review Daddy, decoding the mystery behind every trend. If you found value in this breakdown, like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget that we trust NordVPN to keep us secure, especially when researching global events that aren't always covered fairly. Click the link in our description to start today and take back control of your online freedom. Watch the next video. Did Donald Trump declare war on Iran?